Barbers, should you find a shop that either does chair rental or percentage split? Or pays you wages? Well, today I'm going to talk all about that. Is chair rental for you? Is percentage split for you? For those which are overseas in America, especially, you may refer to it as booth rent and commission split. Well, today on the SliderCuts Barber Business Podcast, we'll be talking about that, and I'll be giving my perspective and my opinion, which is not fact, is just an opinion, on what I think you barbers should be going after. And do I think chair rental is good? Percentage split is good? Paying? I'll let you know my opinions and what I do in my shop. But before we go ahead, if you don't know already, my name is Mark McIver, and this is the SliderCuts Barber Business Podcast, where I talk all things barbering, business, and in between. So chair rent versus percentage split. Well, off the cuff, let me just let you know this. In my barbershop, SliderCut Studios, we do percentage split. When I did open up the barbershop initially, I did start off for the first, month, 2 months, something like that, couple months, doing chair rental. And the reason why I did chair rental is because that was the only system that I knew. The barbershop I worked in prior to that, they did chair rental. So you could say the only experience I had in the industry was chair rental. But after a couple months of running my business, it came apparent to me that this chair rental thing would not work. It didn't make any sense to me. And the reason why it didn't make sense for my business was because for everything I was going to be doing in my business, for the way I was going to be helping the barbers, the promotion, the back-end staff, the receptionists, just everything I was going to be doing in my shop, it didn't make sense to me that I'm going to be taking a flat rate, but I'm going to be doing all of this work continuously. So I moved to percentage split because I thought it made more sense and it was fair that with everything I was going to be doing and I was doing, that the better the barber did, the better the business did. And the better the business did, the better the barber did. And that's the reason why I switched over. Now, there's no rules to this. The way I run my business isn't the blanket rule to say, well, if you're going to do all these things for your barbers, then you should do percentage split. And if you're not going to do all these things there, then you can do chair rental. But I'm just going to give my opinion a little bit on this subject. We're not going to go in super depth because, if we went in depth, this subject, we could talk for like an hour, 2 hours. But I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. So let's talk about it. In my opinion, if you are a barbershop owner and you want to be more hands-off, you don't really want the hassle of fully managing people, looking at people's schedules, getting customers in, promoting the business, doing all these things there. You want to be hands-off. You don't want to be in the barber's business about when are you starting, when are you finishing, all those different things, right? You just want to collect money. Then I would say a chair rental system, also known in America as booth rent, makes more sense for you because you get to be more hands-off. You don't have to be involved. A barber comes, they rent their space, they come when they want, they leave when they want. If they got no customers, they pay that same weekly rent. If they've got thousands of customers and they're making hundreds of thousands a week, they still pay that rent that is set out for them. It's an easier model for barbershop owners. Now, for barbers, should you go into a shop that does chair rental or percentage split? It really depends. If you're someone who is really driven, you're someone who doesn't really need the help of the shop. You don't really want a community of people that are actually there helping each other. You don't particularly care about those things there, right? You got it all sussed out yourself. You're like, cool, I know how to market myself. I'm a really good barber, or do you know what? I'm fine. I go and do these courses here. I've got these online courses I'm doing over there. I do these shadowing sessions over there. So I'm learning to cut hair and so on. I don't need no clients from the shop. I just need a clean space that's got electricity, a window, some drawers, a chair. Then I would say you should find a shop that just does chair rental and pay that flat rate. And then you won't really be bothered that much by the owner. Now, to make it clear, just because you're renting a space, that doesn't mean that the owner cannot tell you anything. The owner still can, because sometimes people say, well, I'm self-employed. Well, that doesn't mean that you can just abuse a client and the owner won't say anything to you, because it is still the owner's premises. And the barbershop will still have a name, which is chosen by the owner. So when you maybe start abusing a client or start being rude towards a client and dealing with people a certain way, they're going to go out of there and say, yeah, I went to so-and-so's shop and the customer service there is horrible. So as much as the owner can be a bit hands-off, yes, the owner will still have involvement because it is still their business. It is still their name. So don't think that just because you rent a chair, you can do whatever you want. No, but you do have more freedom than if you're in a shop where they're paying you wages, or it's a percentage split system. Now let's talk about percentage split. In my opinion, I feel like if you're a barbershop owner and you're running a business and you're going to be doing things like bringing in all the clients. Now, to make it clear, if you're going to be bringing in all the clients, you can actually even pay people wages, because plenty of shops in the UK, when they bring in all the business, they just pay wages. But we're not talking about wages today. We're just going to talk about the percentage split and the chair rental. So if you're a barbershop owner, and you're going to be bringing in a lot of the business, you're going to be doing promotions in the business, you're going to be paying for a lot of facilities within the business, whether it's things like training, you're going to have standards that you want people to uphold. You want people to have opening, closing times, wear uniforms, codes of conduct, which should be even in the system where you got chair rental anyway. But if you're going to be more involved in building up the business and making the business money and growing the clients in the chair, which is the main thing, then I would suggest that as a barbershop owner, you do percentage split, because you want to be in a place where all the efforts you're putting in to make sure that these guys make money, that the business is also growing with the barbers, the same way as the business grows, is growing the barbers. So I would say in a setup like that, it would make sense for barbershop owners to do percentage split system because of what you're doing for the business. You're not being hands off, you're being hands on. You may also have things like back end staff, like a receptionist. A receptionist doesn't directly earn the business money, but in a roundabout way, it does help to build up the business and develop the business. So it's good. So in a roundabout way, it does earn the business money when there's someone to answer the calls, answer customer inquiries, emails, and so on. That helps to grow the business, and you make money, just not directly like a barber chair and having a barber in a barber chair. But all of these things there cost money. They're not favors. If you have a receptionist like I do in my shop, I'm not going to talk about what the receptionists earn, but they're not doing favors. They earn what they earn, And even if you break it down to what the minimum wage is or London living wages is in London, and just think if they were even earning that, how much is that a year over 6 days? It's not cheap. So you want to be in a position where, okay, you're doing all these things there because the receptionist is there to help the clients, which is going into, or who are going into the barber's chair or the barber's chairs. The receptionist is also there to help the barbers, call up clients, you're running late, can you cancel, I'm sick, and so on. The receptionist is there to help the barbers. So if you're going to be running a system like that, then I would say as a barbershop owner, have the percentage split system. Now, barbers, what type of barber do I think should go into a percentage split barbershop? Or a percentage split barbershop that I've kind of described? I would say if you're a barber who wants support, because everybody says, you're self-employed as a barber, you can do whatever you want, come and go as you want, grind as you want, work as hard as you want, right? But the reality is, and I see it all the time, there are so many barbers who just need support. I see so many barbers where I know, and this is not me being arrogant, I'm just being honest, where I look at their situation, they may have told me what they earn, or I found out what they earn, or I kind of loosely know what they earn. And I know that even on a percentage split, if they worked in my barbershop, they would earn more money. They'll take home more money than they're taking home right now. And the reason why would be because the shop, SliderCut Studios, could help you develop your skills. We will help you get more clients. We will build you up as a barber. The price which you would charge in SliderCut Studios would be more than you may want to charge yourself. And I've had these conversations even with barbers in my shop, even at times when we were upping the prices and some people were nervous, which is fine. It makes sense because they're worried about losing clients. They're like, well, if we up the prices now, are we going to lose clients? And I would always say to the barbers, don't worry about clients. Even if we lose clients, that's on me. I will get new clients in. So if you want to be in a system where you're supported more, you're helped to grow, they're teaching you how to cut hair better. They are helping you manage your schedule. They are bringing clients into you and you want that type of system, then as a barber, I would say go and be in a percentage split barbershop and get the support. Don't listen to your friends saying, but you're paying this much to them. If you actually just got all those customers yourself and you were cutting, you'd make this much money. Because this is what happens. And friends aren't being bad mind. They're actually being good because they're looking out for the best interest of their friend. But what a lot of friends don't realize is they don't understand the industry, one. And two, they don't even understand their friend. Because if you're going to give somebody advice, advise them based off their character and not maybe your character or the character you think they should be. So barbers, you just got to be honest with yourself. If you're a hardworking person, great at marketing, using social media, you're hungry, you'll work early, you'll stay late, all of that, right? You can do it by yourself. Then go and be in a chair rental barbershop because you don't need all that support. But if you're a barber who may need some support, help with your haircuts, help with the back end, help you grow your client list, bring some clients in, promotions and so on. Don't be arrogant or don't let your ego, should I say, not arrogant, don't let your ego get in the way or some of what your friends are telling you. Do what you know is best for yourself because you could be in a chair rental shop where you are paying, let's just say £200 a week and you're earning £600 a week as example. So you take home £400 a week and doing it by yourself. And great, yes, the shop's only taking £200 from you. But you could also be in a percentage split barbershop where they're actually helping you grow and bring clients in. And maybe the price point of what they're charging is more than you may be able to charge by yourself because of the branding of the shop, which is doing percentage split. And you could be paying 40% or 60 or 50%, whatever it is, right? Let's just go 50% as example. You could be paying 50% of what you're earning. But you could be earning £1,000 a week and taking home 500. So yes, if you were to do it by yourself and do everything the shop's doing for you, you could go to a chair rental shop and it may benefit you more. But the question is, are you going to do all those things there? And are you experienced enough and have the know-how and the knowledge of how to do those things there? And are you willing to do all those things there as well? And remember this as well, like in my shop, I'm only speaking for my shop that has a receptionist. If you go and be by yourself, are you going to hire someone to help you manage your schedule? Or are you willing to do all those things yourself? Because it's not only about the money they're earning, it's the support, it's the back-end staff and so on. If you are willing to do those things yourself, I think I slurred my words. If you are willing to do those things yourselves, then go. I'm not telling you to go into a percentage split barbershop. I'm just trying to give you the differences of what you should be looking at and assessing in yourself on what shop or what type of shop you should be going into. This is just a brief message on percentage split versus chair rental. We could talk about this for hours, to be very honest, but I don't want it to be too long, guys. I just want to give you a bit of an intro. Have you ever thought about going to a shop where they do percentage split or they do chair rental? Or if you're a barbershop owner and you're thinking, should I do chair rental or percentage split? These are just a couple insights to think about when you're either approaching the shops you're going to work in or you're setting up your own shop. And this has been another episode of the SliderCuts Barber Business Podcast, where I talk all things barbering, business, and in between. And if you like these type of conversations and you're a barber who's trying to up your business, up your income, run your barbershop better, and so on, become a better barber all around, then I have started a barber community. The link is in the description. So just click it, view it. If it's for you, join. If it's not, no problem. Thanks for tuning in.